This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
Good morning and welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Brew with the Homeowners. I'm your host, Dmitry Lipinski. Today we have absolutely entertaining and amazing show for you. This is a radio and we're going to be talking about HGTV's Nightmares. You know, those shows that every homeowner likes and every contractor hates because how easy they make the home improvement projects. It's never easy. They put it in a 20-minute episode, what happened in the 6 month of nightmares. And today I have 4 stories with my co-host. They're going to react to them with me. I have Adam Benzman from Illinois. I have Clay Cox from Atlanta, Georgia. Adam Sand from Canada. And I have a very first story for you. Love it or list it legal nightmare. Dina Murphy and Tim Sullivan appeared on HGTV's Love It or List It show in 2016. The show is hosted by real estate agent David Visentin and designer Hilary Farr. Murphy and Sullivan spent $140,000 of their own money on the renovations. Money was sent to the production company Big Coat TV. Big Coat hired contractor Aaron Fitz Construction. Here's the homeowner side. Murphy and Sullivan claim that bad workmanship irreparably damaged their home. Allegations include damaged stained floorboards, open holes, low-grade carpeting over chipped concrete, and windows painted shut. Overall, they said it was a scaled-down version of what was promised. The couple said producers ignored their concerns about Aaron Fitz Construction from the start, even when they brought up bad reviews on Angie. Of course, Angie cannot go anywhere without Angie. They also claimed that only $85,000 of the money spent on went to the contractor, and the production company took the rest, around $55,000. Homeowners sued Big Coat TV and Aaron Fitz for breach of contract and deceptive trade practices. Big Coat TV denied wrongdoing and said that they completed more than 250 renovations without any issues. The production company filed a countersuit for libel, slander, and product disparagement. So here's the outcome. Lawsuit ended in confidential statement in 2017. The libel and slander claims were eventually dismissed. In 2019, Tim Sullivan sold the house for $570,000, a gain of $235,000 over the $335,000 he paid for it in 2007. That's the story. Guys, what do you think?
Well, I actually, I'm interested in this one because they said that they had these irreparable damages. And so when I saw the story coming up, I looked it up to see like, well, was the market up or down when they sold their house? Because like, was that a great gain because the market was down, or was that a mediocre gain that was just from inflation? So for me, I try and think of like, did the homeowner really suffer as a result? So the average gain for houses between that time period was 29%, but they had a 70% gain, which means that ironically, their gain was actually $137,850, almost dollar for dollar what they paid. But the $85,000 went to the contractor. That's a really good gain on what they would have spent on the contractor. So then it kind of goes out as a toss-up. Like, did being on the show help? You know what I mean? Like
Famous house.
is that a part of this? You know what I mean? Because like their house was featured on the show. So I think the homeowner actually walked away okay in the deal. You know, you can never know what it would have sold for if maybe it was wonderful craftsmanship. But as far as like getting a return on investment, they did.
Absolutely. What do you think, Clay? Adam?
Adam, go ahead. I know you had done a little research on this one. What did you think?
It's fascinating. You know, they say $85,000 went to the contractors and 55 to the show. I always wonder where the production companies and the media makes their cut on these profits. So maybe it's having contractors on staff that help with these projects. Some of the outcome, though, the chipped concrete with garbage carpet and stained floorboards and stuff, certainly you would hope the contractor would have gotten that resolved for them.
I was always wondering who pays for those shows, because when you look at them, everything is so like picture perfect, and you like, Is the construction companies paying for it? Is the homeowners paying for it? How as a media company myself, I'm always curious who's paying for the filming gear and for actual production, because it's a lot of work to put
I
20-minute
was gonna say,
episode.
is 55,000 enough for what was probably a 6-week project? Like 55,000 doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah. I mean, 55 it's not, I mean, if you do a couple of video guys, I mean, it's decent. I would say it's fair.
Because you got to do post editing, you got to do like you got to have sound guys, you're setting up for multiple scenes. Like you probably have all those like little cameo interview parts where they're like, and then I saw this, and then I thought that.
But
Like,
think about who's making money here. Like my thought is, okay, construction companies definitely benefits from extra publicity because it's, think about all the claim to fame. Like I've been a contractor on HGTV. Here's my, portfolio pretty much. Like think about that advertising. So there's definitely benefit to the contractor to be on a show. I could see why contractors would want to do better price, or I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that everybody's paying. I mean, it's a win-win-win for all three parties. It's a win for the media company, it's a win for the contractor, and it's a win for the homeowner. But at the same time, everybody's pissed at the end. Everybody's like suing each other.
yeah, guaranteed they didn't sell the house and say, you know what, this is really shoddy craftsmanship. When they went to sell the house, they were probably like, and this was done by this big TV show. Like
Yes.
That's
the
right. That's
lawsuit's
right.
all over with, and now it's probably a great project.
Yeah. In the early days of these home improvement shows, I used to wonder about how they had the budget to do some of the renovations that they were doing in the early 2000s. But this is from 2016. I mean, HGTV was very much on the rise at that point. Plenty of advertising dollars flowing in. I mean, it's not like they should have been reliant on the homeowner to have to pay for these renovations. I mean, they're selling the ad slots for X number of dollars, right?
Right.
The homeowners aren't the only source of funds to be able to complete the project. So the little peek behind the scenes, the idea that the homeowner spent $140,000 to get this project done through a program on HGTV. I think many of our listeners would find that pretty shocking, right? I think it's presented in a way oftentimes where you feel like the show is doing this for these homeowners. So to find out, not only did they pay this high dollar amount, but a large chunk of that went to the production company, which is then going to turn around and sell ad space to air this on HGTV. That all seemed a little bit shocking to me.
I'm always looking for. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other interesting thing is how it ends up in these libel and slander claims. Which what in the world were they saying? Libel and slander are both, one's written and one's spoken, but you're basically disparaging someone's character. So I wonder what kind of war of words was flying around between, these contractors, this production company, and these homeowners.
Absolutely. I always looking for lessons for our listeners, and one of the lessons I see here is a lot of times when homeowners buys house to flip, rental property, they buy everything premium. They want the nicest floors, nicest cabinets, and that's one of the first lessons I've learned when I worked for a remodeling company. We're flipping homes for our customers, and people who buy houses to flip them, to sell, buy to list it, whatever. They often do buy the cheapest materials, the cheapest carpets. And I was surprised to see it here. There's a reason, there's a lower budget, like pretty much you make everything picture perfect. You just have to be functional. It has to look good, and that will sell the house. But oftentimes homeowners will put so much money into second, third house that they will never have that equity back. They'll never have their money back. And this is one of the biggest lessons here. But my question is it a good practice for TV show? Because yes, you're putting on TV, but you're documenting your journey. People literally can dig in how much you actually spent, what kind of product you put. For me, if I'm doing something for the show, I'm going for the top dollar. I want to show off, how good I am, how good the project is. And I'm kind of surprised that they did go with the cheapest stuff here, and they still have their money back later on. And maybe that's the reason. When we come back after the break, we have another spicy story. That one is about the reality TV show everybody knows, Property Brother. They also have a scandal on that show. We have all the details. And I also want to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by contractordirectory.com. No matter where you found your contractor, things happen. And when things go south, you need a third party to back up that work. Even if you found them on TV, you might have a dispute with that contractor. Check out directory.com. We'll be right back.